Hello, it's Chelsea, your friendly neighbor. How are you all doing today? Have you come across those chairs that sort of pull back a little when you sit on them and then move back to their previous position when you stand up? In this video, I'll be teaching you how to make your own chairs. Yes, the chairs you currently have at home or your inventory, and all the ones you might buy in the future. Do just that using this nifty script from Black Tulip, so please stay tuned. First, we'll have to buy the Black Tulip moving parts script from the marketplace, a link to which can be found in the description of this video. As many of you know, everything we buy from the marketplace gets sent to our received items folder, and this looks a little different depending on the viewer you're using. I'm currently using Black Dragon. You can choose to keep it there, take it out of that folder and into your inventory folder or into some other folder. That all depends on how you organize your stuff. As for me, I always try my best to organize my newly purchased items, whether from the marketplace or an in-world store, as soon as I get them. So as you can see, I have it here in my scripts folder. Now, we've got a couple of things in this folder, including a note card containing the link to the official documentation for the script. The same link can be found in this video's description. One of the most important things we have to do before we start scripting our chairs is to change the permission for the script itself, here labeled Black Tulip Moving Parts 1.05 AVSitter plugin. Right-click on the script and click Properties. Originally, this is set to Next Owner, Modify, Copy, and Transfer. But as written in its official documentation, we have to set this to Copy only. So we have to untick Modify and Transfer under Next Owner Permissions. This is to prevent other people from copying the script, and is therefore one of the terms of our use of this product. According to the manual, the script will self-delete if you didn't set the correct permissions before adding it to the contents of your chair, which is why this is one of our first steps. A little side note here is that if you're scripting this for an object that you'd like to give to a friend but is not copyable, or if you're selling an object that is similarly transferable but not copyable, please set the next owner permissions to no modify, no copy, and transfer, which means you'll have to untick modify and copy. Second, confirm if the object you want to use it on has the AVSitter version 2 script, since Moving Parts is a plugin for that specific script. We can do this by right-clicking on our object, then Edit, then click on the Content tab and look for scripts with the letters AV inside the Contents folder. According to their website, AVSitter version 2 was released on August 11th, 2017, so if you bought your chair anytime after that, unless it's an unscripted full permission mesh chair from a full per mesh shop, it's probably safe to assume that all chairs from most furniture shops have this script. If you want to use moving parts on an unscripted full perm chair, then you'll have to have your own AVSitter version 2 script first, add your own animations, and get it all configured first before using Black Tulip's moving parts. Next, I'd like to show you what this script was originally made for, to give you some ideas on how else you can use it aside from making your chairs move. If you'd like to already get started scripting your chairs, you can also skip to this timestamp on your screen. So, as the name suggests, the original purpose of the script was to make certain parts of your object move depending on what animation is currently active. To demonstrate, here's a sample object that came with the script. Here we have some sort of raised object of some kind with a wooden plank in the middle. The balance animation positions your avatar as if they're balancing on the plank. The objective here is to make the plank fall down when the Oops animation is activated. Consequently, the Oops animation also places your avatar on the floor as if they've fallen. To do so, we right-click on the object and notice that the two pillars on either side are highlighted with the color yellow. A basic building tip here: anything that's highlighted in yellow is called the root prim, which is the primary prim in any linked object and therefore determines the name in any link set. A link set refers to an object that is composed of multiple selectable prims, like our thingy here. According to the script's documentation, it can be used on any join prim, which means any selectable part of an object, and on multiple join prims, as long as they're not the root prim. In this case, we cannot use the script on the pillars, but that's alright because our target is the plank, which is highlighted with the color blue. Now, it's good to keep in mind that all prims that are not the root prim are in color blue. So, to make it easy to remember, we can think of it this way. Blue means movable and yellow means unmovable. Going back to our balancing object, right-click on it and click Edit. We then click on Edit Linked, then select the plank. We look under the General tab and next to Description, write Moving Part, make sure the P in part is capitalized, equal sign, then any name you want. We'll write plank for now, but you could use other words like chair. You can also use more than one word as long as you don't add a space between the words. So for instance, I can use the words written in the manual, which are legs and join. And it has to be written like this, with the letter J capitalized. Now, let's untick Edit Linked and click on the Content tab. We drop the auxiliary tool script and we'll see a message like this on the local chat. For this portion, I jumped onto Firestorm because, for reasons unknown, the auxiliary tool window doesn't pop up on Black Dragon when you're sitting on the object. It only pops up when you click on the object while you're not sitting on it. So for the scripting parts of the video, I'll be using Firestorm. Let's then sit on the object. Ignore the AVSitter pop-up window that displays all the animations installed into this object. Next, click anywhere on the object. The dialog window for the auxiliary tool will now pop up. Because this is the default position for the plank, let's click on Save Def. After which, we'll see this message on the local chat. Next, we change our animation to Oops and we watch our avatar fall down. Let's now right-click on the object again, then Edit, then tick Edit Linked, then select the plank. As you can see with any join prim, we can move it anywhere we like. For the purpose of this tutorial, we place it on the ground as if it's falling down. Feel free to position it anywhere on the ground near the object. You can also rotate it any which way you like. Now, let's click on the object itself and let the auxiliary tool window pop up again. Because this is our intended destination for our fallen wooden plank, we then click on the Save button. Next, we will receive this message on our local chat. Then, we click on the object one last time to bring up the auxiliary tool window, and finally press Delete. Click Yes for the next prompt. Let's now stand up. Pull up your inventory and the Black Tulip Moving Parts folder where we can find the configuration note card labeled here as CFG. You can make as many copies of this configuration note card as you want for each item that you want to script with moving parts. You can also rename this if you like. Don't mind that my note card looks a little different from yours since I've used this configuration note card for another object. But what we want to do here is to copy the first message we received on the local chat right after clicking on Save Def earlier and paste it onto the note card. After that, we copy the second and final message we received and paste it onto the note card as well. One last thing to do with the configuration NC is that we have to label the animation name. Note that this doesn't require the name of the animation found in the Contents folder. Instead, we need to use the name of the animation according to the AVSitter dialog pop-up. One example is this chair that I have. If you look at its contents folder, it has multiple animations with complicated names. But the AVSitter dialog window displays animation names such as Fem1, Fem2, and so on. So, make sure that we use these simpler animation names found in the AVSitter pop-up window and not the ones found in the contents folder. Okay, the animation name is Oops, and we will write this in this portion of the note card after the equal sign. Make sure to keep the space between the equal sign and the animation name. Now, let's save the note card and drop it into the contents folder along with the script itself. If we sit on the object and the plank moves back to its original position, that means that the script is working. Let's try it. Here we're balancing, and then, oops! Not only did the animation trigger, but the joint prim, in this case the wooden plank, fell down as well. One thing of note is that if your object has multiple animations, you can make the joint prim or prims. Like I said, we can use it on multiple prims, and I'll show you how later. So you can make your joint prim or prims move differently depending on the animation. Now let's talk about scripting our chairs finally. The first thing we notice when we right-click a chair is that usually chairs are made up of a single prim, and the chair is highlighted and yellow all over. This means that the chair itself is the root prim, and like we said earlier, we cannot use the script on the root prim itself. So what do? We need to res an object and link our chair to the object to make that the root prim, which then turns our chair into a join prim. First, let's see how far we want our chair to be pulled back when we're sitting. Let's say about here. Let's pull up the Build menu by clicking on Build or by using the Ctrl-V shortcut on our keyboard. We then res the yellow block anywhere on the floor. We position it above the chair, then resize it a bit and make sure it's almost as big as the part of the chair where we place our behinds when we sit on it. It doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry too much about it. Next, we sit on the chair and position it to where we want the chair to be located when we're not sitting on it. This then becomes our default location. So basically, somewhere really close to the table. We then right-click on our chair, hold the Control key on our keyboard, and select the object as well. Click on the Link button. Remember that the last thing you select when you link objects becomes the root prim. Now that this unsightly object is the root prim, we can safely use the moving parts script on our chair. But before that, let's first turn this basic but yellow block transparent so we won't ever have to see it again. Right-click on the chair, edit linked, then select the yellow box. We go to the Texture tab, select Blend Fong, then turn transparency all the way to 100 by typing 100 in the box. Ta-da! Now the yellow block's gone, but not really, it's still there, just hidden. Right-click on the chair again, edit linked, select the chair itself, General tab, and write Moving Part. Make sure to capitalize the P in part, $, and any word like chair. Then go to the Content tab and drop the auxiliary tool into the Contents folder. Let it load to 100% before sitting on the chair. Sit on the chair and ignore the AVSitter pop-up. Click anywhere on it to pull up the auxiliary tool dialog box. Because this is the default position when nobody's sitting, we click on Save No AV. If you didn't skip the earlier parts of this video, you might be wondering, why do we choose this option instead of Save Def? Well, Save Def is for configuring joint prims that you want to move based on the animation. In the case of chairs, which usually have multiple, upwards of 20 or 30 animations, using Save Def would mean we'd need to list all animations and configure the positions for each of them, which would make the script too heavy. Thankfully, Black Tulip added the Save No AV feature for the 1.5 version of the script. After choosing Save No AV, we'll see this message on the local chat. Next, with us still sitting, let's make sure that we're still on Edit Linked and the same joint prim, in this case, our chair, is selected. Then we move just the chair to the pulled back position that we want it to be in while an avatar is sitting. We can occasionally click on the now transparent yellow box to see if it's really the correct position. We don't have to perfectly align the two, we just used the yellow box earlier to designate the area where we want the chair to be pulled back to. Click anywhere on the chair to pull up the auxiliary tool window, then click on Save Def. To confirm that this works, check your local chat for the second message. Let's then click anywhere on the chair and hit Delete to delete the auxiliary tool. We don't need that anymore. Now, let's stand up. Let's pull up our inventory and the Black Tulip Moving Parts folder. Open the configuration note card, here labeled CFG. Don't mind that my note card looks a little different from yours since I've used this configuration note card for another object. But what we want to do here is to copy the first message we received in the local chat right after clicking on Save No App earlier and paste it onto the note card. After that, we copy the second and final message we received after clicking on Save Def and paste it onto the note card as well. Hit Save or the Ctrl+S shortcut on your keyboard. Right-click on the chair, make sure Edit Linked is active, then select the chair itself. Drop both the CFG note card and the script itself. If the chair moves back to its original position, it means it's working. Let's try it out. Alright, we did it! Sometimes this happens, and when it does, don't be alarmed. You sit on the chair and notice that even if it pulls back, your avatar is stuck in this weird position and isn't sitting correctly on the chair. When this happens, click on Adjust on the AVSitter pop-up, then hit Default. This correctly sits your avatar in the right position on the pulled back chair. Okay, but how about if there are multiple join prims? Like with this chair that I have where we have the transparent animation mat as the root prim, and we have the chair and this cushion on top as join prims. In this case, you'll just need to add a couple of steps for chairs or objects like this one. Because I also want the animation mat to move with the chair and cushion, I'm going to res another yellow box to be this object's root prim. So let's start by doing just that. I will then sit and position the root prim above where I want the chair to be while I'm sitting. Then I'll right-click on the chair, hit Edit, then move the entire chair to where I want it to be permanently located while no one's sitting. Now, right-click on the chair, click Edit, hold the Control button on your keyboard, then select the yellow box and press Link. Right-click on the chair, Edit Linked, select the new root prim, then change the transparency to 100. With Edit Linked still ticked, select the animation mat and change its description to Moving Part, again with a capitalized P, equal sign, and something like Anim or Animation Mat with no spaces and a capital M. For the purpose of this video, let's use Animation Mat. Do the same for the cushion and the chair. I chose the word cushion for the former and chair for the latter. Let's again right-click on the chair, Edit Linked, and select the animation mat because that's where the AVSitter script is installed. Drop the auxiliary tool in and let it load. Sit on the chair, ignore the AVSitter pop-up that lists all the animations, and click on the invisible animation mat to bring up the auxiliary tool window. Let's click on Save No App. As you can see in our local chat, the message we received is a little longer than in our first two experiments. There are now 3 variables listed: animation mat, cushion, and chair. Then, while sitting, we right-click on the chair again, Edit, Edit Linked, and select multiple objects while holding down our Control key. Select the animation mat, the cushion, and the chair, and move all of them to their default position when nobody's sitting. We then click on the animation mat to bring up the auxiliary tool window and select Save Def. Check your local chat again to see if it worked. Click on the invisible animation mat for the last time, wait for the window to pop up, and click on Delete to say bye-bye to our auxiliary tool. Then, we stand up and pull up our Black Tulip moving parts folder in our inventory once again. We configured the CFG note card with the messages we received, the first one when we clicked on Save No Av, and the second one when we selected Save Def. Finally, we saved the note card. Right-click on the chair, Edit, Edit Linked, select the animation mat because this is where the AVSitter scripts and animations are installed, and drop both the CFG note card and the script into the Contents folder. If the entire chair moves back to its default position, that means it worked perfectly. Let's see if it really did. Sit on the chair and voila! Now let's stand up and notice that the chair, cushion, and invisible animation mat all go back to their default position. Not only can you make all your chairs at home move now, you can also be creative with your other objects with Black Tulip's moving parts. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. What other uses for moving parts can you think of? What other nifty scripts do you know of? Let me know in the comments section below. That's all I have for you today. I'll see you all next time for more Second Life tips, tricks, and adventures. Remember to stay hydrated and take some time to rest. Bye-bye!